Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Translation?
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Cheese Film, and joined with me is Mr. Hecubus and Mr. Randy Official.
Hello.
And this is week 2 of our onslaught from the planet Mars. The translation you saw before us was the what was going to be the onslaught of future generations to come. It was a terrible, terrible act, and a day that we will all remember as the day the saucers landed. Today is the official day that Mars attacked.
Mars Attacks.
1966, the cult classic by...
96.
What did I say?
66.
1996, cult classic by the one and only...
Tim Burton.
Yeah, not Tim Roth. Tim Burton.
It's funny, though, the cards came out in like 1964 to 66.
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah.
when they came out? God, I'd love to get my hands on a set of originals.
Yeah, from then. Because
Yeah.
there's some from the 90s, too, that
That
are
have this
probably
artwork.
pretty pricey again, too. Collectible anyway.
Yeah.
But I would rather have the original ones because that's just a little better. Just
Yeah,
a little better.
I don't know if you can take camera 3 and see. I am a fan of this movie. I've got the cool artwork back there.
Do I got to move my head?
You meant camera 1.
Or camera 1. Take camera 1.
They can see it. They can see it pretty
Got
good.
a pretty awesome Mars Attacks poster. I really like this movie.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's overhated and underappreciated.
I think it's just underappreciated, and I think because of Independence Day, that's why.
That I wrote that down too. I
Yeah.
think because it came out right after Independence
Right.
Day, and Independence Day, love it or hate it, is
The first one's
very
great. I love
serious.
it. Yeah, it's a real
Alien invasion movie.
movie.
And this one's kind of goofy. He made it to be a spoof movie,
Right.
but I don't think it's very spoofy. You
Well,
know,
I
I think it's got a lot of heart and charm into it.
Oh,
that
it totally does.
goes a little.
And it's kind of like a disaster movie, like a 70s Irwin Allen disaster movie, where it's got a huge cast. It's a star-studded cast.
It really is. It's a $1 million cast.
It is. And well, quite more than $1 million, I'm sure.
Oh. Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of destruction.
Yeah.
So instead of like the Poseidon flipping over or a giant building being on fire, it's Martians attacking.
Keep attacking. That's all they do is attack.
That's great.
It's not like they're just there spinning in the sky either. You go to their ship.
Yeah,
You
everything.
see what they're doing. It's actually a pretty well integrated world. Like
Yeah.
you get to really take your shoes off and sit down on the couch. Danny Elfman did the music, of course,
Yeah, of
because
course.
he and Tim Burton are like the dynamic
Like
duo.
a hand in
They're the-
glove, yeah.
Why
The
would
John Williams and George
Spielberg.
Lucas or Steven Spielberg.
that guy's like a John Williams, who you just said?
Danny
Yeah,
Elfman?
Danny Elfman.
What
Oh,
else
yeah.
has he done that I would know?
Any Tim Burton movie.
Okay. Okay. For those
Yeah.
non-movie lovers.
He was also in the or was it the was? No, I think it was the.
I have
He was in a new wave band in the 80s.
He's a composer. He writes and he composes all this music, and he's got the punk rings and the dyed
Yeah.
hair and the tattoos, and he doesn't look the part at all.
Oh,
which
I think it was
like a lot.
Not Was. That was his band.
Was not was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You probably have heard. They had one song that was all over the place, but for the most part, if you weren't into new wave music, you don't care.
Yeah. He's the voice of somebody in The Nightmare on Elm Street, not The Nightmare Before Christmas. That I can't think of it, but I think he's one of the voices who sings like "Kidnap the Santa Claus."
Oh, really?
Like he's the Bones. The inspiration for Cheese Film is Bones from Corpse Bride. He voices him,
Oh, okay.
and he sings that whole song.
I've never seen that one.
You've not seen Corpse Bride?
No.
Oh,
one of the
it's
better
the best
ones.
one. It's so good.
The best one of what?
Tim
His,
Burton's
like, little
movies.
thing.
It's the best Tim Burton movie.
In my opinion,
It's the
hands
best
down.
Tim Burton movie.
Better than
Even
Batman.
better than Edward Scissorhands.
Better than I don't like Edward Scissorhands.
You don't like Edward Scissorhands?
I'm not a fan of it.
You don't like Edward Scissorhands? I'm going to say everything twice.
Well, this is going to
what's it
shock you.
called?
Not a big fan of
Sweeney Todd.
Beetlejuice either.
I can see that.
Not a big Beetlejuice.
This is good.
Well, I like Beetlejuice.
It's fine.
But like Edward Scissorhands is,
You like Edward Scissorhands?
yeah,
Ah,
great.
I didn't get into it.
Did you do
It
Sweeney
kind of
Todd?
assumes itself.
It does, and insists. I keep missing it. I kind of like Sweeney Todd.
Did he do Sweeney Todd?
I think Johnny Depp is just in it.
When Hell
that
of
one lady.
Harder. I don't know if he did Sweeney Todd or not.
I kind of think he didn't. He did Sleepy Hollow. What about
I like Sleepy
All
Hollow,
right,
but I
okay.
like Corpse Bride better.
you like Sleepy Hollow because Christopher Lee's in it?
Well, and so is Ian McDermott.
Oh, there's a bunch of people in that one too.
Yeah, everybody. It's
Yeah.
a Hammer movie.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Sleepy Hollow because I
Well,
can go off on it. It's great.
Sleepy Hollow came out in 2000 something, right?
Yeah,
it was after
the early
Heart Attacks.
2000s.
And it's those movies
I think that was his next one.
got him kind of going again because this movie did
$80
smudge
million
his reputation.
budget, made $100 million, and was considered a flop.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
too bad, yeah.
because I think it's fun.
It's
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
such a
fun.
great time. Like I understand certain things and criticisms about it, but if you look at it through a different perspective, it works.
One of the things that I could totally get on board with about on the downside of this movie is a lot of the character development. You just don't need it, and it doesn't mean anything,
No,
and it kind of just doesn't
Then-
go anywhere.
yeah.
A lot of it, and it's
The obsession with
lengthy at
donuts.
each time too. So I can get where people are a little restless about that spot, but just wait for the Martians again, and it all comes right back.
unless you didn't like the way the Martians looked.
I was about to say that would have been my biggest thing to complain about.
How?
What do you mean? How?
So
A lot of it looks very bad.
Oh, are you talking about the special effects?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
else would I be talking about?
well, the
Their
design.
actual look.
Oh
yeah.
no, they look cool. They look cool.
Yeah, that's straight
fine.
ripped right out of those cars. They
Yeah,
just
the
took
top
That
cars.
looks
design.
awesome. Pull it up.
I did write down here that the Topps cars did come out in 1962, so you were right on the money. There's 52 of them,
Man.
and well, maybe 52 card run. Yeah, so there's 52 of them, and a lot of those cards are in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like the burning cows, the dog.
The Burning Cows is the one I knew right off the bat, but I tried finding some that were in it, and I just gave
You
up.
couldn't?
I just got cool ones for the
got a
show.
lot of cool ones.
Yeah, a ton of cool ones.
I love
There's
those
one
art.
cool one I didn't get on purpose because of you young people, but there's a Martian shooting a dog.
yeah,
That was
Well,
funny. It's so cruel, and their stuff is so mean, like the burning cows and stuff.
but they do shoot the dog. in this.
Yeah, right.
So the head pulling off the Martian lady mask, and it's got it over its head like this. That was the cover of I think one of the comic books because they had
yeah.
a couple comic runs too.
Yep.
And then he shoots the president's dog, and
Yeah.
that's that card. They didn't stray from that.
Yeah, that one was just the card is a kid. A
Yeah.
kid screaming about his dog. So
It's vaporized.
it came out in 1996, cost $80 million, only made $100-something million, and now I think we should go through this cast.
Yeah. So I played the movie, and I just started writing names.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I told you earlier, I just took it off Wikipedia because it's a lot.
I didn't write them all. Like I know for a fact I don't know who that is. Oh, I know who this is.
It's got Jack Nicholson
Yes.
twice. He plays the president and
The sleazebag.
the sleazebag Vegas guy. Glenn Close, she's the first lady.
First lady.
Annette Bening is the
hippie-
sleazebag's girl.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, who I think is great in this. He's perfect in it. He's that scientist, and he's always got that pipe.
The big pipe.
Yeah, he's so ridiculous. Danny DeVito, and he's just really a guy.
Yeah, he's just there.
Then he gets zapped. You can have my watch. Martin Short, who's the
Pervy. head of-
vivacious. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, he's like the head of chief of staff or something.
Yeah, he's a White House cabinet member.
Right. And then he has access to the Kennedy room in the White House. I think it's got a lot of good jokes in it too.
It does.
Martin Short, Sarah
Jessica Parker.
is a talk show host, like a daytime talk show host. It has like a gossip show, basically.
Kinda
And
like The
Pierce
View.
Brosnan, who's this PhD, super smart guy.
He's the number one show, and he's on
a
it all
fan
the
of
time.
it. Michael J. Fox plays her
Husband,
boyfriend.
who's a
or
news
whatever.
anchor.
Yeah, for GNN.
Yeah,
Rod Steiger, he's that general.
the general.
Tom Jones plays Tom Jones.
Just because.
That's cool.
I love the story about why he's in this movie.
Why is he in the movie?
Because Tim Burton was in Vegas, saw him while they were filming this, and was like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?"
That's cool.
He was like, "All right."
Because it could have been Wayne Newton or
Yeah.
any of those guys. It's cool.
Tom Jones talks about how he was doing his residency at the MGM out there.
I think that's where they show it in
That's
the
where
movie.
it is. Yeah, and he didn't know why, because he's not doing anything special. He's just performing his stuff.
Yeah, he's just singing a song and can fly a plane.
Yeah.
Lukas Haas, I don't know who that really is, but it's the kid that goes and saves grandma. You know, I don't remember seeing him in anything else. Natalie Portman,
A young Natalie Portman.
the president's daughter.
Before Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Phantom Menace. Jim Brown, he's cool. That boxing Egyptian-looking guy. I don't know. He says he's got to go on in 5 minutes. I don't know what show he's in or anything. They don't show that.
They never show that.
But he's always wearing that ridiculous getup. Lisa Marie, who plays the Martian disguise, basically.
Who is Tim Burton's girlfriend at the time,
Right.
too.
And she's in Sleepy Hollow, too. Also. Yeah, she plays Johnny Depp's mom.
Oh, okay.
I think she might be in something else. Anyway. And, Sylvia Sidney. I don't know who that is, actually.
I don't know who that one is.
Must be. It's probably grandma.
I didn't see Kathy Bates in here. Or
Kathy Bates?
the one lady from Disjointed, or I don't remember what you guys would know her from. She's a big actress. Oh my gosh.
Well, you also didn't mention Pam Grier.
Oh, Pam Grier wasn't on Wikipedia?
It's the boxer guy. That's his
wife.
And Jack Black.
And Jack Black. Yeah, I can't believe Jack Black wasn't on here. But Pam Grier is Grindhouse Queen.
Yeah, she is. So who are you thinking of?
I'm gonna look her up real quick.
Are you thinking of this girl? Because isn't she in it too?
No.
Oh
I
my
hate her.
God.
I hate her.
Oh,
They're coming.
yeah.
And that's the whole whatever. She's good in
Yeah, Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates isn't in this.
I thought I saw her. Maybe.
Kathy Bates from Misery?
yeah.
Yeah, but like young her.
No.
I thought I did.
She wouldn't
Maybe
have been
I'm
young. She would have been like 40.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, I didn't see
What do you mean?
She's old. She's like in her 30s, man.
I didn't see her. I thought I did.
So that's the star-studded cast.
Yeah.
I can't believe
huge.
that Pam Grier wasn't on here. That makes me angry.
I'm gonna say this now because we just said the cast, and I think I think this is hilarious as a concept, but B, I think it's also kind of sweet and too. But you mentioned Danny DeVito and Jack Nicholson, two Tim Burton.
They were both Batman villains in those Batman movies.
They're
Staples?
yeah. Both of them will do anything he's doing.
Yeah.
Anything he's doing.
Right.
Jack Nicholson specifically was talking to Glenn Close, and she was recounting the story where he's like, I want to be his Robert De Niro. I want to be to him where Robert De Niro is to Scorsese.
That would have been
He
great.
was so into whatever he's doing.
Yeah. So Johnny Depp got to be it instead.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which I don't really care, but I think that's pretty because Jack Nicholson's a big name.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's
especially
kinda funny.
now in '96.
And we're talking about like Head, and he was the Raven. He's an old Hollywood guy, which means it's not that he thinks that he's gonna make a lot of money here, or it's his time to shine.
He wants to do it.
He likes what he's doing with Tim Burton, and he likes Tim Burton enough to want to do whatever it is.
That is awesome. I forgot who I told you wanted to be the president. Oh, Paul. Yeah, Paul Newman.
Yeah,
Paul Newman. They offered it to him, but Jack Nicholson said he just wanted to be in it, and he's like, "Well, we don't have a role for you." It's like I told you earlier, and he said, "I'll do them all." But Paul Newman was supposed to be the president, and he turned it down because of the violence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like The Sting with Paul Newman. He's in that.
Paul Newman's great.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of surprised the violence. Well, this movie's.
It's got tons of violence, but it's very cartoony.
Well, I mean, very 50s.
Yeah.
You know,
it is.
like it's straight out of. They use a lot of the same effects that War of the Worlds does.
Yeah, they wanted to use that laser sound, but they wouldn't let him use it. Yeah,
that sucks.
And it's very similar anyway.
Yeah, well, because he wanted it.
Yeah,
you know? And
right.
Call up his buddy Danny Elfman, and I'm sure he's the one who came up with it.
He probably did.
But yeah, it's funny that he didn't want to be in it because of the violence, because the Topps cards also had a lot of controversy due to the violence.
Right.
Teachers and parents hated that kids liked them. But, I mean, where are you getting these cards from? You're buying the kid the card, you know?
No, they earned the money and went and got them.
Kids in the 60s had a job?
Well, not a job, but like, I'll mow your lawn, and I got a quarter. Now I'm going to go get 14 comic books and a pack of cards and ice cream, all for a quarter.
Making the time of making this movie, a full set of those cards went for $2,000.
I don't doubt it.
So to get them now would be
probably way
more
for a full set. Yeah,
they're Topps cards, they're paper.
Yeah,
you know, and like I just think that's cool. That like they,
it's awesome.
Especially in this, they kind of blew it up. It's got that following. It's got, I think, the attention it deserves now. With people liking it.
I do too. It's more of a...
Maybe not Randy over here.
But watch it at your house.
I didn't hate it, but...
What did you
You don't like it?
I didn't...
It was hard to get over the effects?
Not even necessarily that.
I immediately
I feel like you either could have done... I don't know. I feel like more of them would have been better.
More of what?
More of the aliens. I know they're in a lot.
It would have been. That's what I was saying earlier.
Like, when you said character building, like, I feel like these characters didn't build any... Like, they all were just literally there to
doing their stuff.
There. Like, which makes sense. Like, but I don't know. I felt like I wanted more aliens. That's really it. But,
who doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird move.
It is weird.
Like, it's weird.
But I think what you're saying is what I said.
When the lady turns into the dog.
I love that.
And the guy's all taken apart.
Oh, my God.
That's great.
I was like, all right, this is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know.
It's brutal. It's malice. They're
mean.
Not,
Oh, my God.
And like
it is so... Randy Official, you're grounded. Like, first of all, they come land in the desert, and that's one of the videos that's up there. Randy.
I've been playing them.
The first time they meet him, the guy's going to go, and they have that stupid translator. And first of all, they translate something, and it's all just gibberish. The lawn that mows, and all that weird stuff. And he keeps saying, "We come in peace." They only do this stuff so that people will come and they can attack and kill them.
Get
it's
as
great.
many people there.
But at the end of the movie, there's one alien running around with that thing, and it's saying, "Don't run, we are your friends," and they're just zapping people. It's hilarious.
I'll touch on this now too. The aliens were going to be stop motion.
Yeah, they were.
But
it cost too much. It took too long.
It cost him. It did. Ironically, pretty consistent special effects.
Yeah.
CGI effects cost less than animating a puppet. I think that's
probably because there's so many of them.
Probably.
And there's a ton of shots that have special effects in them, like almost every single one.
Yeah.
Almost.
Do you know who did the CGI?
ILM.
ILM did them.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
I
think they
I
look
get it.
cartoony.
When did this movie come out?
96.
Before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
If that
Okay.
puts things into perspective for you.
What would have came out about this time that would have been?
Well, Jurassic
The
Park had
Phantom
already
Menace.
come out.
Jurassic Park already came out?
Yeah.
All
but
right.
but Jurassic Park
Has practical
practical
ones.
effects too, and they blend them very seamlessly.
Okay.
And a lot of the digital stuff, like if you go back and rewatch it, you can see.
There's a dove in this movie. The dove didn't need to be animated back.
Well, they light it on fire.
yeah, they're gonna kill a real dove,
that part, yeah, but like,
and it's got to be controlled. I didn't even start the timer. It's got to be controlled. Like you can't just have the dove fly off and then that's it. You know, it is a bird.
yeah, I don't know. I think the whole point was it just flies off. But
Well, they got to get it in shot too.
Yeah, the head-on shot of the bird flying, not good.
Listen, I tell you, these special effects, you could say all that, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
But that one War of the Worlds movie that I watched part of with C. Thomas Howell, these,
look better than that.
oh my God, it's so much better. They're so cheap. It's terrible.
I just chalked it up to they're aliens. They're from another planet.
And they look like the cards, and the cards are drawn cartoons, and I just think it looks cartoony.
Okay, when did Who Framed Roger Rabbit come out?
In
but that's
80, but
different.
before I graduated high school.
Okay,
That's completely different.
but
It's a different style of animation.
I'm just saying, they probably were like, they probably cut corners. They probably could have done.
Not
a little
ILM. They had all this
No.
stuff done a whole year before the
my
movie started. They were working on this.
better. All right, maybe I also might not know what I'm talking.
But again, you're talking about like the ILM were the progenitors of all of this. Like
Yeah, right.
they were the people. It didn't exist before them. You know, like
They're it.
yeah.
The
If
start
it
of it.
wasn't them, how it looks in this, watch that movie and see how that looks because that's what it would have been. Because
What
they
movie?
just the
Oh,
War of the
War of
Worlds
the
that
Worlds,
you were
yeah.
just talking about.
Okay, speaking of effects though, do you think the Green Goblin bomb effect was taken from this?
Probably, but
I
this
think
was
with-
taken
Where
from
he
War of
gets-
the Worlds.
Yeah.
The skeletons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Sam Raimi's also a giant sci-fi horror guy.
Yeah.
You know, he probably was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" Like we are, and
Right.
he did it too.
I bet Sam Raimi likes this movie.
I probably, yeah. I mean,
I bet he likes all Tim Burton movies like we do.
he strikes me as a guy who would
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
even like just watch Evil Dead, and you're like, "Yeah, I would see that." I'd
I
see
like
it.
the Three Stooges too. And
did
he
the Three Stooges?
obviously does. Know that he's a big fan of it.
Oh,
Yeah, he's Mo.
There's always a fake Shemp in a Sam Raimi movie. If you look through the credits, it'll say fake Shemp and then somebody's name.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of leading actors and actresses had no problem with any part they got in this. That's how big Tim
Yeah.
Burton was at this time.
He was too.
He everybody he said I'm going to do this movie and everybody rushed in to get it.
Yeah. And another thing that's kind of interesting too is it's obviously inspired by 50s sci-fi,
Yeah.
those kind of movies. And the movie he made before this was Ed Wood, who was the director of the worst movie ever made,
Yeah,
Plan
the
9 from
Plan
Outer
9.
Space, and those kind of movies. So it's kind of an homage to him too.
Is that Jim Carrey or is that Johnny Depp?
It's Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Martin Landau.
Okay. For some reason I can see Jim Carrey.
You'll probably be thinking of Man in the Moon
That is what I'm thinking of. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
and Andy Kaufman. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, big director. He was the guy.
Yeah,
you know?
he was the
and
guy.
that kind of sucks.
It's kind of an event, this
Yeah.
Tim Burton movie coming out.
And like Pierce Brosnan, he was like, I'm usually the leading man.
Yeah.
I'm doing all these leads, and I just get to play the small, and I'm okay with that. It's just kind of
Yeah, everybody, it
Just
seems
listen
like
to them
they
talk
put
about
their ego away.
they did.
Because
They
like
checked
Michael
it.
J. Fox, he's in it a lot at the very beginning, and then he dies.
A lot of
More
them
than-
die.
Yeah.
A lot of them die, and a lot of people had a problem with that. A lot of people had a problem with the fact that the stars were dying.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know.
And it makes you think, well, who else is going to die?
Right.
And
no,
guess what?
everybody's on the table now.
And they all do, pretty much.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh man, it's such a interesting movie.
It is. Here's another little interesting thing that you guys probably appreciate. What's his name?
Tim Burton.
No. Ahmed, the dead terrorist.
Yeah.
His eyes are props from this movie.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought you guys would like that because I don't like Jim Dunham, but you guys do.
I kind of
As
grew out
a
of Jim
kid,
Dunham.
yeah, what are you talking about? When we were like 10?
But that's cool.
That is
because
cool.
He likes it too. And if you look at Ahmed,
He kind of looks like
looks
he's
like the
aliens.
Martian, yeah.
Or Martians, yeah.
even down to the giant turban, kind of looks like
Yep.
the big bulbous brain head.
It could have repurposed one of these like a doll.
Probably, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Because there were some
Practical things, yeah.
That's some rubber guys. But yeah, I mean, Mars Attacks, not, it was hated on. It was a bomb for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Was a
I can't believe it.
one of
either.
the worst movies of all time kind of things. And like, I don't know. I put it on and I'm just like, I got it. Maybe because I've been watching old
Yeah,
movies
maybe.
a lot. I get where he's coming from. I can understand where I can connect
Yeah.
with a little better. So I have an appreciation for what it is. But even that aside, like, I don't think it's a comedy movie. I think it's a silly sci-fi
Yeah,
movie.
It is silly.
And you have fun with it. Like, this is
Yeah.
definitely like the midnight hour kind of thing. Like, you put this on, get a pizza.
Yeah, I think
Some
if
soda.
you just say the words Mars Attacks, you ought to know what you're getting into right then. Before if you didn't see a preview or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mars Attacks, okay.
He also it was a choice to use the flying saucers.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it that way. All of this stuff is very
Yeah, love the
50s
flying saucers.
inspired.
That's
like,
great.
It's a passion project, and I think it just gets overhated. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it did. I don't think it does anymore.
It's got a cult following. It's being reevaluated. It's now considered a masterpiece.
Right.
So maybe it is. Maybe it's not. It's up to you.
People give a pass to these kind of effects now, too.
Yeah.
More so than Randy Official.
They're not as hard on him. Well, Randy Official's used to anime,
Yeah.
so I figured he would be okay with something that's not so good. But yeah. Anyway, so the plot of this movie kind of just, I don't want to say stream of consciousness, but like it's
like
a
vignettes of things.
a lateral timeline of events that are happening.
Right.
There's not like flashbacks from when I'm a kid and
No.
learned a moral. It's, we survived today. Are we going to be able to survive tomorrow? Kind of feel.
Yeah.
And you get to see, I think, a pretty well like what if scenario. Mm-hmm. You know, so
Yeah.
like what if we did get attacked on
Right.
American soil? Like, you're gonna have a general who's gonna be very aggressively, let's show him our nuclear
Yep.
strength. You're gonna have a president who might want to play the peace guy. He wants to. It's got an image to uphold
Yeah.
too.
And a legacy he's going to have.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's not likely that the invaders are going to be, all right, let's shoot the Washington Monument and then try to aim it at the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Or let's take a picture in front of the Taj Mahal and it's
And then blow
blowing
it up. I love that they're
Or
goofy.
make our faces on Mount Rushmore. They're probably not going to be that funny.
Right. But you also get to see the enemy strategizing and planning too. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
like, we're evil, we have a plan.
Right.
Like, they come down, they do some stuff, it works, it doesn't work, they leave. They come down, they do more stuff, and they start adapting. They
Right.
start learning. They create a fake woman to
Yeah.
sneak into the White House to assassinate the president.
You know, I never really put that together as it's another thing. It's a disguise.
Yeah.
But they look at a Playboy magazine.
Right.
Then the leader guy looks at Sarah Jessica Parker, and you could see him coming up with that idea that, oh, this is how they think. We'll do this.
Right.
And it worked.
And, you know, they don't have eyebrows or eyelids or anything like that. They don't have lips. But I still feel like I'm getting an emotion from them.
Yeah, their eyes do a lot of it.
A lot of it, and how their head looks.
Yep. Yeah.
Like they do emote really well
They
for
do.
just being basically a skull.
Basically, a green skull with a
Yeah.
brain on it.
I also like the robes that
Yeah.
he wears, and then the captain of the army wears. Like
Yep.
the emperor's got them, and the captain guy's got them.
Yep.
And the spacesuits, I think, are also very
Yeah, they're
retro
cool.
50. They're awesome.
And their guns with the bulbous things on them.
yeah, the coils in the front.
Yeah. Love that stuff.
It
It's
really
great.
does spark a love for like science fiction. Really. So
It
if,
totally
if
does.
you do like science fiction stuff, I think you'd like this.
Yeah, definitely.
And the cover of it too. Like there's something about like you got the pictures on the bottom. Right
yeah.
there.
That like a
Old.
disaster movie. Airport 77 would have the same things.
It's so good.
It is.
I'm glad that it's getting a
Yeah.
come around.
Resurgence kind of thing. But like when they're at Easter Island, and they bowl.
Knock them all. That voice, ag, ag,
Yeah.
that wasn't going to be there.
Oh yeah. Did you read about that?
They were talking about it on the
It was in
sci-fi
the
documentary.
in the script. They didn't know how they were going to sound, so they just
Yeah.
wrote ack ack ack, and they just went with that. I think it's great.
Tim recorded something when he was doing the storyboards too, and it got to the point where like they didn't have anything better either.
Right.
So they just were like, all right, well that's it. That's how it's going to be.
I think it works perfectly too.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all they say. There's no influctuations. It's just yelling ack. That's it. It's genius. And it's silly. It's not anything. I don't know. They
You
didn't
shouldn't take it
create a
seriously.
language, and if you actually decipher it, it's
Yeah,
all-
right.
No, it's just,
Klingon.
yeah. There's no. You don't learn this. You
Right.
just yell it.
Ack. That's it. The guy that all their voices are done by the same guy. And that guy is incredibly prolific, and he was in a lot of stuff. Like Cat Dog was one of them that I saw that was familiar to that other people might know, and then a whole bunch of stuff. So much so, he is like the third highest earning. It was in
You're talking
the
about-
movies that he has bet his portfolio have are the third highest of all time. So like I think it was Jack Nicholson and one other guy have the highest box offices, and this guy is number 3. I'll tell you his name. You won't know it.
I looked
And
up.
he's in so much stuff. Frank Welker.
Yes, I do know him. You know him too. And I was
Yeah.
about to ask you, is it Frank? Frank is Fred from Scooby Doo.
Yep.
He's
Scooby Doo. That was another one, but I know if it was the movie or what. Or,
yeah,
you know,
he's Freddy. He's Ray from the Real Ghostbusters. He's Megatron.
Megatron. It was the
He's
Transformer
yeah,
ones.
I'm a big Frank Welker fan.
Yeah, probably a lot of people are and don't even know it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I have a friend who does those conventions. Her kids, she'll befriend these people. And these people will meet her kids, and they love her kids. One of her kids is obsessed and loves Transformers, and got Peter Cullen and Frank Welker to sign stuff for him, and like talk to him and engage with him and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Just because she worked these conventions,
Right, that's awesome.
Like if you're a kid, like he's like 11, so like if you're an 11-year-old and you got Optimus Prime sitting there,
Yeah, right. Talking to you.
it's like whoa. Did they pull out this file, man? It's just signature after signature. I'm like, I'm gonna steal this from you. Taking candy from a baby. No, I love those kids. But yeah, so Frank Welker, I was looking it up, trying to find out, because earlier, when I first saw this movie, Jack Nicholson's dirtbag character shows up, and I thought it was him, and then I looked, and I can't find it now, which is ironic. But it was credited to somebody else, and I was like, oh, so he's just doing a Jack Nicholson impression? Odd, but okay.
Yeah, that whole story is weird.
But then I saw Frank was on here. I was like, who? And it said random Martians, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, he's all of the Martians.
that makes sense. Yeah, I love him. I think he's real cool. But I like weird stuff. So
Yeah.
I was surprised that
And cool stuff.
you didn't know that I knew who that was.
That's awesome.
But But yeah, so
basically the movie is the Martians are coming here. They keep attacking us, and we keep thinking it's a misunderstanding.
yeah,
He wipes out Congress. I think that's another great line. We still have 2 out of 3 branches of government, and that ain't bad. Randy official. That's a great line.
I didn't say I didn't like the movie.
well, keep watching until you like it.
So they there's the first misunderstanding with the dove. Oh, maybe it was the dove. No, it's not the dove. They destroy Congress. Then it's after they kill that guy who's dressed up like the woman that the Martians really get pissed and it's all out war.
Yeah.
And they just that's when a lot of the funny stuff starts happening. That hotel too, by the way, that Jack Nicholson's in. They really demolished that. That happened to coincide with when they were going to film it, so they filmed it really demolishing it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like when that works out. So what are your first reactions when you saw this for the first time? What were your...
When I heard Mars attacks, just that part, I was in from get-go. And then when I finally got to see it, I thought it was great. I love it.
See, I had the misfortune of hearing how it's terrible and everybody's pooping on it and just ripping it apart. So I went into it thinking, all right, so this is going to be like The Room, where it's just Tim Burton's worst movie ever made.
Yeah,
And
it is
like,
not.
Okay, where's the bad stuff?
Right.
It really is. Like, I know that we like bad movies sometimes, like
Sure.
The Black Scorpion,
Yeah.
infamously. But like, this isn't that. This
No,
isn't
it's
that.
not. It's good. And maybe, some people don't like these kinds of movies.
Right.
And they went and saw it, and so they crap on it. But if you do like sci-fi, like animation stuff, like comedy,
just
even, because it
comedy.
does have funny stuff in it,
Yeah.
and like sight gags, everything. It's got everything in it.
And
Romance.
I'm glad it's got a research, because like TikTok will cut up a movie and then play clips from it, and that kind of sparked me rewatching it, because I was like, yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm gonna pop that back in. I'm gonna give that another shot.
Like that giant mecha thing they have, and he smashes the trailers together.
This is crazy.
It's just cool stuff.
What about you, Randy? What were your first initial reactions to watching Mars Attacks?
I first was like, this is what all that merch is made up of? Like, it's not just that poster. Like, the poster is cool, but like, Spirit Halloween had like...
Yeah, they
went hard.
We used to have
Mars
a Martian
Attacks.
mask.
Yeah, so they had like a lot of stuff, and I was like, oh, this movie must be like Halloween or like Saw. Like, it's just it has an icon, and it's a horror thing that I don't get. This is not a horror movie at all.
Horrible things happen.
Yeah, I
but,
wouldn't say it's a horror
it's not a
movie.
horror
as soon as
movie.
I saw Jack Black in it, I was like, oh, is this a comedy?
Man, they rip
And
on
how
him.
about
and then I saw the aliens,
What
and I was
about-
like, this has to be a comedy.
What about the parents of Jack Black that are like, they love him and they basically hate their other kid?
Yeah.
They're like, why did it have to be this son? I also think it's funny too at that funeral. The family's sitting here, and then the guns for the 21 gun salute are right behind them.
Yeah.
And every time they go off, they're like,
Yeah. So, what else is on our format? How do we do this? So, initial reaction, and then
It says
it's legacy. It's
on
got
the
a kind of a
internet,
legacy.
The Congress scene is the best scene, is what they're saying.
well, yeah, especially now.
Well, it's playing. If you guys want to talk about it.
It's not really anything to talk about. I do think it's kind of funny that it's shown that they're single beamed
Yeah.
guns, and then he pulls out this gun. It's just a wide, just to
Gets them
kill
all at
them
the same
all.
time.
Yeah, again, kind of going to the point where like they're evolving. They're not stupid.
Right.
It's an intelligent race of
Yeah.
warriors. Also, Mars is always seen as a very hostile planet.
Because it was named after the god of war.
Well, that too. And it's very red. There's no water on it. I just think it's kind of funny that in every sci-fi thing, the Martians are always bad, evil warrior kind of people.
Yeah.
Because even in Doctor Who, like they're
There's
bad
Martians.
guys, yeah. And they're more reptilian. And they all kind of look. They're all green. They're green guys, you
Right.
know?
The little green men.
Yeah, they come from Mars. But yeah, so what do you think this movie could have done better in retrospective? So like now that we've seen it 20 years later.
Here's the thing. Like, they could beef up the special effects, but I think they should do it in the Star Trek, the original series way, where all they do is beef up the special effects. Like if you had Paramount Plus and you were watching Star Trek with William Shatner, the old one, they'll have like a panel that looks like this. This is more sophisticated than any of their stuff. And then they'll show establishing shots of the ships, and they look phenomenal. It's way better special effects. Then they cut back to the computer, and it's a blinking lights and a switch. If they did that, because nobody's going to have this kind of humor. It's black humor.
Yeah. It's pretty timeless,
and they don't.
too.
It is timeless, but people don't. They're like, you can't do that.
They also
You
did
can't
that
do
with Star Wars.
You can't have cows on fire.
I don't understand what the problem is with that. 'Cause it's not real
but they
fire.
do. I don't know what the problem would be either, but they would have a problem with it. You can't have funny
But
jokes.
they had a problem with it back in '96. That was huge controversy. That the cows were on fire.
But they weren't even real cows.
And they weren't really on fire.
Oh,
It's because what if somebody did that? What if somebody got inspired to do that from this movie?
the thing is that
What
people
if
care
some
too much about
dumb idiot?
14
cows on
people
fire.
their feelings are going to get hurt.
But,
They're not going to think it's funny or be offended. So we can't do it at all.
But-
even though 100 million people think that's funny.
Star Wars remade the
special
singing
effects.
lady. Like the rest of the movie's the same, but you could tell that lady got reanimated.
They can tell the Sarlacc did too,
Yeah.
because it has a whole mouth now, and it's not just a
Yeah, I don't
hole.
like that beak. I like the
You don't
hole
like the beak?
better.
I kind of I knew the beak.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you're right. That whole song is new too.
Yeah.
The Jedi Rock song, which
Right.
phenomenal. You're all wrong. That is so much better. I love that song, unironically. I think it's great. I love that. But you're right. So, and really taking it apart, like, I mean, look what ILM's doing now. Mm-hmm. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, make a Mars Attack special edition. Don't get rid of this.
No.
You know? Just like a bonus feature.
Or just
I think you
beef
just
up
make
these
that
special
better.
effects.
Yeah, just like.
But like
as you're saying.
the
Probably
head,
have
Pierce
the-
Brosnan, when he's just a head,
That
that
looks
looks
great.
great.
The dog looks a little
looks
funky.
great. I like the dog.
I don't not like the dog, but it's funky. Maybe it's because the head's huge.
Yeah, it is
on
a
the
lot
itty bitty
bigger.
tiny dog body.
Oh, by the way, that dog is her dog.
Yeah, that she's
It's
carrying
Lisa
around.
Marie's dog. Her real
Her
dog in real
dog.
life.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ah. See, there's so much care. So much care. Everybody
So
wanted
much.
to be a part of it.
All right.
It's awesome. That's really cool. What was your favorite vignette from the movie?
Man, I don't know. But you know what is cool is when at the very end, when the president, Jack Nicholson, shakes hands with him, and then the hand comes off and climbs up on him and stabs him. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Every part of their everything.
I like the big fight too with Jim Brown and the Martian.
No guns,
Yeah.
no fancy anything, just you and me.
Yeah. That's
yeah, and he
cool.
does it. He's all right. He knocks off the thing. That's also a good part. Personally, I like when they first are landing down and everybody's surrounded them, and you got the thing rolling out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It rolls.
It rolls out. Yeah.
They come out and it's like, we come in peace.
Yeah.
You know, and they think it's all, and because it really is that moment. You're like, oh, okay, so what's gonna happen? What's gonna be the misunderstanding? He sees a dove. Maybe doves on where they're from are a sign of war or
Right.
hostility. And he kills it immediately, and he just starts killing everybody. I think that's such a good bait and switch.
It is.
I think it's
It is
done really
great.
well.
And I love, probably my favorite is the Martian running around. Don't run.
Yeah.
We're your friends. But when they attack the White House, when she's there, there's a bird in a cage that distracts the Martian, and that's how they get to kill him.
Yeah,
So birds are a thing for them somehow.
the canary there.
Yep.
I also think it's also clever because she's chewing that gum.
The nitrogen gum.
Yeah, but it's not just like because humans chew gum. It's to
Right.
keep the alien inside able to not
breathe,
have its
yeah.
helmet on. That's
Very clever.
It's got a lot of science in it.
It does.
Especially for being just a silly little movie about this.
Mars attacks.
Yeah, it's got a lot of science in it that I think goes.
I like that translator too. That first thing they translate that's just gibberish cracks me up.
I like how Pierce Brosnan does not let it go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that must mean something else. Yeah. Clearly, we're interpreting this wrong. I'm just like, bro.
Right.
It's not
just
even
stupid.
like, oh, it's an accident. Like, it's zapped. Oh, they're skeletons. Michael J. Fox, he reaches out.
Yeah.
And then it's just his hand.
That's great.
Oh, my God. They're cruel.
You know
I
this
kind
is
of like
cool,
how
too?
mean-hearted they are.
I love how they're mean, spirited, mean people, but they shoot a nuke at the mothership kind of thing, and this little thing comes out, blows it up in a balloon, all that nuclear fallout stuff, and they suck it in like helium. I think that's hilarious. That's great.
It really does put like a what do we got now kind of feel to it. But yeah, Mars Attacks, fantastic.
Fantastic. A lot of fun.
Part of me kind of hopes that this does get like a remake or maybe even like a fun little mini series, one-off. Like
I could
6
do with more
episodes.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
But you don't need it either. Just watch this movie.
Yeah, well, but I
Like the original War of the Worlds. The other ones are cool too, but there's a lot of charm to it, and this has got a ton of charm.
it does. It aged pretty gracefully.
I think so.
But I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun to have like just 11-minute episodes
Sure.
of
like,
just them setting cows on fire.
or something kind of clever way that you could destroy something or people.
Yeah.
Like the cards. It'd just be like a cartoon thing. That's all.
Exactly. Or an animated show. There
Yeah,
you
I could go for that totally.
on Adult Swim. Look, if you can make Black Mirror, you can make this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think a lot of
totally.
people forget that, especially industry heads. But like Black Mirror, in no way, shape, or form, is like suitable for all audiences.
No, not at all.
Like the first episode tells you what this show is going to be like, and if you can't take it, this ain't for you.
The same with, I think it's Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you watch that first one and that's too much for you, which it could be,
Yeah. Don't
watch the rest of them. You get it right there.
I think, and like HBO, I think would be a perfect place to put this on.
Yeah, like Spawn. Their cartoon of
Yeah,
Spawn was
Spawn.
not for kids because I bought it for Patrick, and then I watched it. I'm like, he can't watch this. And
How old was he?
8.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
No, definitely not. It was some of that stuff.
Probably should watch Spawn. But yeah, Tim Burton, he's still around, still making
Yep.
stuff. I don't know what he's got coming up or not. I know he did the Dumbo movie that wasn't well received either.
Yeah, but because nobody really wants these remakes. The cartoon is fine.
They all make money.
Do they make money? Do they make money, or are they getting some of their money back?
I think.
You know what
they're
I'm
making- well, 'cause they
asking?
keep
I don't
doing
know.
it,
Yeah, they do keep doing it, don't
you know?
they?
I think they're doing it to. Well, we just spent $4 million creating this room that we're shooting The Mandalorian on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's make The Lion King because they did this. They shot it in that room.
Right.
You know, so they got their money back.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
so that's what I think they're doing. They're not really doing because like the first couple were like Jungle Book was different enough from the Jungle Book to where you're having a different experience with it.
Right.
I think the same thing with Beauty and the Beast. I think you're having a different experience with it. But then you get to like The Lion King and The Little Mermaid where it's just kind of shot for shot.
Right.
Nothing's different.
Yeah.
Where you just lose it. Like it's not interesting anymore, which is
Right.
why I think it's an excuse to work on this technology so that they can use this technology over here.
Right. That makes sense.
You might not like watching the realistic dung beetle push a wad of turd across the desert for 5 minutes, but you do like Boba Fett walking down that rock to have a conversation with Din Djarin about his
Right.
armor.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Right.
You know, that's what I. That's what. I
Well,
think
what are you going to do? You sell your company because it costs too much to make these. That's what the big problem. That's why George Lucas got rid of the Pixel computer stuff because it was just too prohibitive expensive for him to do
Yeah.
it. And so young Sherlock Holmes was the only thing that he did with that. And then when he was making episode 1, that was a concern of his. How do we make this affordable so that other people could do it and he recoup his money? That's very plausible what you're saying.
The Phantom Menace has more practical effects than digital effects.
I wouldn't assume that.
Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" But there's more practical effects than digital effects in that movie. So
probably by episode 3, it's the exact opposite. But
even then, they still have a lot of real locations.
Yeah,
and stuff
sure.
Like that. But anyway. So I look forward to the next thing Tim Burton. Oh, he did Beetlejuice.
He just did that.
Which I was on the fence about. If you like the first one, you like it.
Have to watch it. The only reason I haven't watched it yet is because you said that.
Do you
but you don't like the other one. I do like the first one.
Then you'll like the
I think it's
second
kind of funny.
And I didn't think I'd care, but in the first Beetlejuice, every single scene he's in, he's wearing a different suit.
Who, Beetlejuice?
Yeah. In this one, he's just wearing that pinstripe suit basically for the majority of it.
iconic one.
The one from the cartoon.
The cartoon one.
Yeah.
That's why you know him in that suit. I don't like that suit, so I didn't like looking at him.
Yeah.
But I also didn't like the Bob stuff. I could have dropped that. It's like Minions-y to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The shrunken head guy from the last
I
one.
think that's hilarious.
Well,
You got the
his
native
sidekick.
guy and the shrunken head. He's got a shrunk, and then he shrinks his head. I think that's funny.
He becomes Beetlejuice's like, you're my right hand man.
Oh.
And there's a whole bunch of them in his little wing of that area. Have you seen it?
No, but I've seen. I can grasp enough about it from the commercials.
And they do tell Beetlejuice's backstory. There's a guy at work who's like, well, they tell you something, but it could be wrong. No, it ain't. It's literally the whole movie is like consequences of his origin story, and they show it to you.
Okay.
Like, it's
Yeah,
not
ex-wife or
up
whatever
for
is, like,
interpretation.
the
they just
villain.
do. And it's not a bad origin story at all, by any means.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
going to
they
check
don't
it out.
ruin anything.
I got to watch it again. I accidentally watched a movie I had already seen yesterday, and now I'm kind of pissed about that. So I should next time I'll watch that.
Yeah, go ahead. Check it out, because I have it. You can watch it on Vudu
Or HBO Max.
or HBO Max. It's on there. Or if you're
sure
really feeling lucky, you can go over to the grindhousepodcast.com and check out this episode, maybe, and other episodes as
You
well.
should definitely do that. Before you take a chance on some garbage.
Go check
check
on
out
something
something
that's
good.
a little bit more stinky. Yeah, I don't really have anything much else to say about Mars Attacks other than you should check it out.
Oh, the only other thing I had was two things. One, Jim Brown said this was his greatest role.
Really?
He likes doing this movie. It's his he's the proudest of this.
Okay.
And Slim Whitman's song is called Indian Love Call, and that's the one that we defeat the aliens, kind of like War of the Worlds, where it's germs kill the aliens.
Yeah.
There's a yodeling vibrates their brains and blows it up. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool and disgusting when that happens.
I do like how it's just simple stuff, which again, I mean, like, he clearly was a fan of that movie.
Yeah.
He used it. It's a good passion project. You guys should check it out.
Definitely check
let us
it
know
out.
what you think, because it's...
I'd like to know
Gotta
what people
research
think
it.
about it too. So yeah, please do that, because I think it's great.
I do too. What about you, Randy? How many thumbs you give it?
All of them. Yeah, check it out. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch it with your girlfriend, or did you watch it solo?
I watched it by myself.
You should show it to her, see what she thinks. Because I want to show it to Courtney. You should show it to Mommy.
I think she didn't care.
She didn't
I think
care?
we watched it together the first time, and she just didn't care.
But yeah, I have been Cheese Film,
And I'm Hecubus.
And I'm Randy Official.
and this has been...
What did
you say?
Grindhouse Podcast. I was supposed to breathe this whole time, right?
No, don't breathe.
In the microphone.
Cheese Film out. Go watch it.